let's talk about 3 things that I absolutely hate to see swimming pool owners doing. So the first one here is just an easy one. Adding different chemicals to the pool at the same time. Like you're standing at the edge of the pool with 2 different jugs and you're just dumping them both in. That's a terrible idea. There are a bunch of different combinations that you certainly don't want to make with your swimming pool chemicals. So play it safe. Just do one at a time. Just take the time to do it. It's not that hard to do. Leave plenty of time in between, like hours, and that way you can be sure you're never going to have a chemical interaction or combination which creates, deadly clouds of poisonous gas or anything like that, because you certainly don't want that. And that's not even the worst of it. It gets worse from there. So moving along, something else that I absolutely hate to see swimming pool owners doing. Well, let's get technical here. Let's talk about swimming pool water chemistry, most specifically combined chlorine. So combined chlorine is difficult. You can't measure combined chlorine directly. And so what we can do is we can measure free chlorine. That's the chlorine that's floating around in the water, available, waiting to do its job as the sanitizer of choice in our swimming pool. But we also have total chlorine, and the difference between those 2 numbers is combined chlorine. In a perfectly balanced swimming pool, the combined chlorine should equal 0. So when you have poor water quality, one of the ways that I'm going to test for it is by testing the total chlorine and the free chlorine and looking for a difference between the 2. And the bigger the difference is, remember it should be 0. So, 0.1, 0.5, these are not good. By the time it's 1 part per million or more difference between these 2, this is bad water. This is bad swimming pool water. It looks bad. It smells bad. And it needs chemical treatment. So that's something I hate to see. I hate to see combined chlorine, because you need to know what it is, and you need to know how to end up testing for it, because you can't test for it directly, and you need to know that it's important. So moving along, something that I hate to see. I hate to see this in swimming pools, because this relates to safety. So let's say you have a main drain on the bottom of your swimming pool. It's usually on the floor of the deep end. There should be 2 main drains. That is the standard for a modern day swimming pool. And it's a very, very important detail. So right away, if you have a single main drain on the bottom of your swimming pool, I want you paying extra special attention here. So the concern is that if you have direct suction to that main drain that doesn't meet current code, and not in like this casual, well, nobody really cares, it's just a code. No, it's super dangerous. Don't have it. Like, go out of your way to solve this problem. There are ways to solve this problem. And so you should be able to identify and answer the question whether you have a safe main drain. Is there active suction to this main drain or not? There are some configurations where you can have a single main drain because there is no flow. There are no suction pipes whatsoever connected to that main drain. That is a possibility. You see that a lot in in-ground vinyl liner swimming pools. Check your skimmer. See if the skimmer has 2 ports on the bottom. Most of them do, but most of them have the front port permanently plugged. The rear port is the only one that gets used, and that goes direct to the swimming pool pump. If you have this configuration where you have a non-pressurized equalizer line to the main drain of your swimming pool, of your in-ground vinyl liner swimming pool, in your skimmer, the front port will be open because there is a pipe that connects the 2. In theory, you do not have active suction to that main drain, so it becomes safe. But at the same time, all it would take would be a big pile of leaves to get stuck into your skimmer, and that would be enough, such that you would end up transferring direct suction from the pump to that single main drain. So if I owned a pool with a single main drain, if it was not active, like I've just described, I don't like that, and I would want to fix that. If you have a single main drain which is active, that to me is just unacceptable, and I would solve that with there's an SVRS attachment that you can get. It's a vacuum release that you can install into your plumbing system, and it interrupts the flow. It's like a you know how you have a GFI for electrical devices. It's like a hair trigger for electrical shorts. Well, it's the same application for water. It detects a blockage of any kind, like a hair trigger for blockage detection, and it shuts off the pump. So ideally, I would love to see a swimming pool renovation that remediates that single main drain to a dual main drain that's VGBA compliant. But if you can't do that, the least you could do is install an SVRS system onto your plumbing. And at the very least you can do is you can be able to answer the question for me, is my main drain safe? If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.